Righto, well, I'm going to get you guys kind of acquainted with GitHub and how it gets used within a project setting. Never, right, okay. So, this is old stuff. You probably won't have this stuff around the side, but okay, you can basically start a project for free that will be a public project. We'll obviously get a name, so I'll call it web demo vid. I can give a description if I want, but who cares? It'll be public. You have to pay for private. Initiate. So when you go to initiate one, always initiate with a README. It's just you won't use it, but it makes the file set up so it's not a pain in the butt, really. And you can just leave these, ignore these, and just go create repository. And I'll kind of talk you through your bits and pieces. So this part here is where you upload your code. See, it says initial commit, so I've committed this README, which is just a text file. It has nothing really in it. So you've got one commit, one branch. It's default. It's just left there as blank that you can use that branch. You can have issues, which where the issues come from. How do we do this? It's confusing. Right. So the code is obviously where the code gets uploaded. So if I was going to have code that I couldn't edit in here, but it's painful. You wouldn't want to do it. You just want to basically go upload files. That's it. Or you can create files or what have you. Currently there's one contributor. That's me. Obviously you can allow other people, but it's not really going to be a thing. The big one here is you get your wiki. So you can create a wiki for this. It's basically a little mini website that you can log all the updates and what they relatively are. So I could call this my planning overview or something like that, right? And I can say this is particularly in the programming standard. This is where you would be writing roughly how you're going to plan this. So multi-page website, blah 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 blah. You get the idea. Okay, and then we would just go save page. So I've got like a blank home page, which always stays there, and then my planning overview, which is the one I just made because I gave it a custom name, and I can write more stuff and what have you. But it means if I had quite a large thing, so for example, brackets was developed and it's all documented in GitHub. So if you wanted to go look through brackets, documentation information, you would actually, when you look it up, you would see there's GitHub stuff there, and you could look through the wikis and see all the different various updates. Oops, I didn't want to click on that. Oh, good, it didn't register it anyway. Oh, yes, it did. This is one part. Probably the main part, though, is going to be the project section. I just don't want this to open. Close. So this is basically where you do your planning, and if I quickly try and fire open a document, DTC, EC level 1, web assessment. Alright, I might as well jump a little bit and look at some of the bits and pieces in the assessment. Right, I'll jump to the marking sheet. Describe, research and generate ideas. Oh no, it's wrong standard, here we go. Okay, so in GitHub, using appropriate tools and techniques, GitHub for regular documentation of project, tickets, bugs, testing and commits. Using information from testing procedure, addressing iterative improvement. Okay, this is largely what this is about, is showing that there's different improvements coming up. Anyway, the tickets thing, so we're going to call this Web Pro Planner, because I'm so creative. And the template, just go with a basic Kanban. Kanban it's one of these computer science, it's a software development, sorry, not computer science, software development techniques for kind of project planning and what have you. But largely what it does is it gives you a few columns pre-done. Now I don't really want any of this stuff here, so I'm going to delete the note. Yes, I want to delete the note. Right, okay, so I've got to do, in progress, done. I would add another one called testing. Right, so I'd just shift that one to testing, because I reckon testing should happen before done. Makes sense to me. Right, so I'll add a new card. So I might say get basic HTML/CSS skeleton. Oh my goodness. Up and connected. Right, okay, add. There's my note. There. I might say, what is the next thing to do? I'll be like, set up file structure. Okay. Now I might say actually file structure first, then this, and so I can shift the orders for these things around. Then I can go, well, what else do I need to do is import images to images file structure. When programming, like making a program, obviously it's a little bit more robust than this for web, because the websites that we're creating at level 1 aren't terribly complicated. Set up navigation layout, add background image. Right. Okay, so we'll also get that out of my face. Right, so these are our tickets. So I might say, okay, the first thing we want to do is go, yes, import, not images, but file structure is probably the first one. I'll rank that higher. Like where it's placed is not hugely important, but it's just for me for looking down. But if you had a team of people, you could imagine where you'd kind of want to, that as a meeting, you'd kind of rank these. So the first thing really I'm going to do is set up a file structure. So it's in progress, and I'm going to set up the basic skeleton. Those are the two things I'm going to do in progress. Menu. So you can see this activity now. So I've written this stuff and I've put this to do, moved to do. If I add any notes, like I can say convert to an issue or edit note, and I can add more things to it or what have you. Like this all gets logged. So in terms of your history about that, you've done things and you've gone from a process. So your ticket's gone from to do, in progress, testing, and done. And maybe a note's been added or it's been testing, been logged as a bug, the bug's been fixed, and then it's been put into done. This all gets seen here. It's painful for me as a teacher marking, is when I can see the notes here have gone from to do to done, because you kind of did the bit at the front and then never came back to it. Anyway, I'm going to very quickly let's get something started. I might as well recycle the files from one of the other tutorials, because no, there's no file. It's fine. We'll make new ones. Right, file, save as. It's kind of good to see the process, I guess. Let's go to the video recording. A new folder. I'm going to call this GitHub. Right. Okay, so I'm going to have a new folder in here called images. And I might have a new folder here called fonts. Right, and this one here is going to be called index.html. And I'll make another new one. Save that. It doesn't want to go to the same place. Why would it want to do that? That would be helpful. Right. Recording. GitHub. Go in. Styles.css. Okay. Well, let's try and see how fast I can write this up. Duck type HTML. He says as he thinks about pressing pause. Right. So quiet now that I'm concentrating. Right, okay, so I'll say that's done-ish, that page. And then this one here, I'll just go HTML. Background color, gold. And I just do a few little basics because I can't help myself. Margin 0 pixels. And nav. Okay, so that's the basics of our skeleton, I could call that. And then I'll just quickly test it. Oh, it's wonderful. It's all there. Brilliant. So what I want to do now is I want to tick off the ticket of like I've got my skeleton done, but it's not as a commit. I haven't. And so kind of normally each things we want to do is we want to keep ticking bits and pieces off. So I'll do this. I'll get the navigation looking a bit prettier than this. I'll attempt, where's my Photoshop, to get this maybe quickly. We'll see, because I don't want this to be a long video. But right, okay, so here, let's go here, and go to recording, go to GitHub. Right, that's my file structure. That's everything there that I want. So let's off to one side and jump into GitHub and go to code. Go upload files. So I can then go upload files, and you need to get all this stuff. Okay, you don't just put the images in and then not have the images folder. So we want the folders to structure everything. Right, and so it's going to chuck them all in. It's there. Add files or upload. So the commit change. What have I done? So added file structure plus basic code structure. Oops. Okay, so I can commit it directly to the master, or if I'm not sure if I want to commit to this because it's something that's in progress and it's not finished and I'm having a bit of trouble with part of it and so I'm tinkering, I can make it a branch so it kind of sits off to the side before it overrides the main code. But this thing has version control, so what it means is if I said commit to something that I didn't really want committed, I can so you can see here in your commits, okay, so this here commit initial commit, so I can kind of see it's been verified. Yeah, I can go have a look at it. And it added me that readme thing that I don't really want. Okay, which is fine, so I can go and make changes if I really want. But the other thing is, it means that I could have had a few more commits and then realize something I didn't like, and I can go back to a previous version and kind of roll back what I was using, which is great. Okay, so projects now. Click into my planner. So in progress, I did test the file structure. They were connected, so they're working, and then I can say, yep, they are done. Great. And so if I look at my menu, I can see they've moved from testing to done, moved from progress to testing. Like, so that's all those steps there. It took me 2 seconds. Right, so set up navigation layout. So I might sort out how it's laid out, and then I might say, actually I'm going to add one and go stylize, import font for nav. Oops. Okay. So where am I? I've gone right past Photoshop. That's my layout. Just spread out. It's nice. It's tidy. It's blue. It's got a strip, and there's the space which their logo is going to go before. Anywho, let's get into that. So I'll kind of do this a little bit quickly, and I'll show kind of me just doing commits and what it looks like when there's a few more in there, and me doing the tickets, and if I need to write notes and blah 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 blah. Righto. Okay, nav background dash color. Well, why not be a little bit more clever about this? Okay, so that's the color I want. Okay, fine. which is there. Copy. It's because I haven't installed that font, I don't think. Oh, don't do that. I've already copied it, it doesn't matter. Paste. But I had a hashtag in the front, so hashtag. There. So save. Okay. It's going to need some padding. Top bottom of maybe 20 pixels and left right 0 pixels. We need to get rid of the underlines. Text decoration none. Margin, space them out. So maybe 5% to start. Font size will be one I need to do. So there's EMs, there's a whole bunch of different units, but it really does not matter. So I'll go view width because I can. We'll just see what the view width like that is. Means this the font scales. I'm not sure if I really want it to scale because I've at least got the margin scaling. Anything else that's deadly important? Oh yeah, we have the borders too. Border 2 pixels, solid, white. Border dash left, none. Actually, just do this. Border right, none. Right, let's save that and have a wee check. Okay, oh yeah, text align. Forgot that one. Text align, center there, save it. Oh, oops. My bad. My bad. There. Okay. So that's fine. I've got a very thin border. That's there. Okay, so I could change a font, so I might get a quickly go to a font. So I'd say that's the layout, right? That's that is the layout. It's right there. That's the layout. So all we do is go to our GitHub. Then go to code again, and I didn't test the scaling, which I can do now just to say I've done it. Oh, yeah, because it scales with the font size going up and down, and it looks all pretty good. And, I look back at Photoshop and I'm like, oh yeah, this spacing is roughly the same, I think. No, it's a little bit more spaced out, so I'll amend the code because I'm trying to be a perfectionist. 8%. Yeah, that feels better. Right, okay. So then I'm going to go, don't want to download. So this clonal download would be like if you've done a whole bunch of work at school and you're going, I actually want to work on this at home a bit, but I don't have the files, but they're set there in GitHub. You just download it, it'll give you as a zip, you unzip it, work away, make your changes, improvement, and then just commit your code. Once you're done, or commit it a couple times depending how much work you're going to do, and then what you're going to do is, because I only updated that one to be fair, change sorry, it was mid-sentence, navigation, layout, basic, done. Right, create. Okay. So yeah, then when you do is you work from home, do your changes, upload it, and then when you go back to school, you just download the zip, save it over the top of the files. That would be here where it goes to replace, yes, and then you work over the top, and then you just keep doing your commits, and you can do. So you can work backwards and forwards between home and school or wherever, like that. So it's all good. So yeah, we can see in the commits now. Basic one here done. So I go here, so I have a look at it. It highlights all the new ones, see the pluses. And I can say, I can go in here and I can go view file, see it here, and then if I want to edit, I can edit the changes, history. So yeah, I can do this. Browser repositories at this point of the history. So you can kind of, you can go backwards and forwards and you can turn things on and off. Right, okay, so I'll go back to my projects because I'm sure this video is starting to get a bit long and draggy now. I don't want to make a new one. Go here, Okay, yes, that's been done on my testing. Right, it was approved, it was done. Okay, so I got say import font for nav. Right. Font birth of a hero, because I know that font. It's been I've used it quite a few times over the years. Download. Just download. I do not like the click on this trackpad. Show in folder. Extract it. Yes. I don't need to install because I'm only wanting to reference it for my coding. Because you don't install it when you open the website. GitHub fonts. There. Great. While I'm at it, I might as well go CSS. Add font face. Right, that's they're all there. Yoink. Copy there. Hero. So it'll be fonts slash, and then if I go in there, it's true type font. Copy. Paste. Oh, I didn't manage to copy. Copy. Right. Yeah. Paste. Dot .ttf. Take this line here. Copy, and it'll go there. Paste. Save. Did I make the color right? I think I didn't. Oops. Color. White. There you go. It's there. Boldness, what have you, whatever. So, then in my, not that one, in my GitHub, import 15 testing, yep. Okay, that's done. Code. No, I don't do that. Sorry. Upload files. GitHub. So I'm going to take the styles and fonts because those are the two ones I updated. This one. Right. Imported and applied fonts to nav birth font. Right, commit changes. Right, and that's what we've got. Okay, so that's the GitHub process. It's really just trying to be consistent with this, have this in the background. Each time you do something as a ticket, do an upload, add a quick little comment there. I'll show in the project, so if you had an error with something like a bug and you wanted to actually do the bug thing properly. So say I was trying to add a background image for argument's sake, and I went into testing, and then I can say here convert to issue, title. Okay, so image had corrupted and needed to be fixed in Photoshop. I mean, it's the only thing I think of. Convert to an issue. Right. So now it's been done this. I can now look at my issues. There is one open, so add background image here. I wonder if I, hold on, let's just go projects. Sorry. Because I think you can tag them. There was a way to tag them. Let a color. I think you must do it in the issues then, perhaps. Maybe it gets done in the issues. Right. Right. Labels. So I'm going to label it as a bug. There we go. That's what I was thinking about. projects, planner. Sorry, I haven't done this bit so much. Right, okay. Oh, okay, got it. Let's go back because it's going into all my projects. So now that I can click this because it's got that little like link. This is where I can do this here. Assignees. Oh, so I can assign it to someone that I want to do. Labels. Bug. Ah, here we go. That's where I wanted to be. Okay, so it's labeled a bug. There. Go to issue for full details. Right. Then I might leave a comment here, and I'll say file that was uploaded was the raw Photoshop file. Have replaced it with the image file. You're an idiot, basically. Comment. So I'm adding that comment there to it. Then I say close issue. So I think the issue is now fixed. I'm guessing. Let's hold on. Let's look at the projects. Because this bug is something you do want to at least have one of, because it is really good for the evidence side of things. Oh, so it's okay. So it's been closed. It's not. That's why it says reopen, and I'll say change the label now. Was there anything here? Duplicate, enhancement, good first, invalid question, won't fix. Edit labels. Can I just remove the label even? Fill labels, bugs, okay. Right. Sorry, I know I'm going backwards and forwards in circles. Okay, so yeah, in here then, and label is bug filter, and I'm going to go edit labels, bugs, duplicate, enhancement, good first issue, out wanted, invalid. I'm not. So I'll edit this one question. Edit to fixed. Save change. Right, there we go. So we've got that in there. And then I will click this and then change this one here to fixed. So I could have just unticked that. Oh well, fixed. There we go. Let me close it. Yeah, close that. Right. Close. And then I can shift it over here. And then if I want to look through my menu, I can see this moving from testing to done. Yeah. So there's kind of, I can look at the log issues and have all that in there. But yeah, that's essentially what we're after when using GitHub, is that you're using that process, you're in and out of it constantly, and then you might go, that's right, I hadn't even thought of that, or like that job there that I'd put as a ticket, actually I need to edit that because what I hadn't realized was that it was actually a lot bigger. So add images to file structure, I need to say convert logo to PNG, split images up from Photoshop layout, and I might say what am I doing? I guess compress image size for loading speed. Save. So you got that. See, if you do a little dash, it actually turns to a bullet point. So you can do that, or you could have done it like this in progress, then added some bullet points because you realised it was bigger. You might find actually that needs to be split into two, so I'll make a new note and copy paste and post stuff across. And that's what an organic process is like, and that you can actually see that, and this is being used properly. And in terms of looking at, you know, all your documentation stuff, you know, tickets, bugs, testing, commits. And particularly in the programming one, which has got a lot of this in there, because one of the programming standards is about a process where you iterate through things. This would all be ticked off in spades, this iterative improvement. So I can see this notes through alongside. Yep. So there you go. Job done.